Cubs are getting a boost, and it's coming quick. Cody Bellinger will be back. Justin Steele going to start on Monday. Seiya Suzuki not far behind. But when you look at this team right now, with all of the struggles, how bad the bullpen's been, how hard it's been to score runs, there's still just one game back of Milwaukee going into today's game. We're going to talk about that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying, hey, I'm a Cubs fan. And hit the bell so you know when we're dropping new content, including a conversation with one of the Cubs' top prospects, the guy that got in return for Anthony Rizzo, Kevin Alcantara. That's coming up as well right here on the channel. Let's get this thing going. What do you say, everybody? It's Mick Gillispie at Broadcaster Mick on the socials, and it is a pleasure to talk to you guys about Cubs baseball. And I know it is kind of frustrating right now with the way that this bullpen's pitching, but despite all of the games that the Cubs haven't won because of the bullpen blowing and one game was like an 8-run lead, I said points. Yeah, lots of points that need to be hit before this team is complete, but they're only a game back in Milwaukee. They win today, they're tied for first. So keep that in mind as we talk about what's going on right now. But the good news is Cody Bellinger coming back from the fractured ribs, out there taking batting practice. They're saying sometime this upcoming week, look for him to be ready to go. That is an excellent thing because the Cubs need that offense. But you want it to be healthy offense. You just don't want him to show up because, hey, he's off the IL. You want him to be back and be contributing. But him coming back is one. Now, Seiya Suzuki, saw him running in the outfield. He's also less than 2 weeks away from returning. And he's been gone longer. It's been tough without him because at the time before he was injured, he was right up there as far as the most productive players in Major League Baseball. So you could have Bellinger and you could have Suzuki back maybe as early as the end of next week. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll see how this all goes down. But the good news is they're on the way back. Justin Steele going to go on Monday. So your three best players who have been out of this lineup off this team because of injuries are right there and ready to go. Now, the thing about it is, the Cubs starters are locked in without Justin Steele. Think about what these guys are doing. Jamison Tyone, Hayden Wisniewski before that. Ben Brown's been good. What are you going to do with this rotation? How's it going to look when the pitchers continue to get healthy? And I say pitchers because Kyle Hendricks is set to go Tuesday on a rehab start in Iowa. And some of you guys are like, hey, you said that, he's good, da-da-da. Look, up until this year, he's one of the best pitchers the Cubs have had. I mean, go look at the numbers. Even last year, he had an earned run average that was under 4. This year, it's been terrible. He's the first one to say that. He's frustrated. And if it doesn't happen this time, then maybe, it's not meant to be. There's a lot of competition in that starting rotation, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't use somebody to come in and get outs. I'm not saying that Kyle Hendricks is coming right back into the rotation, but look, with the way that Keegan Thompson pitched yesterday, you don't have a whole lot of options with some of these guys out of the bullpen right now. Just having those two guys return is going to give you 2 more pitchers that might be able to help you. So keep that in mind. But we'll see what happens with Hendricks when he pitches for Iowa and what the Cubs elect to do with him. But right now the bullpen is in flames. And somehow, I don't know how he's doing it, but Hector Neris, it's never easy. But I'm going to tell you, the guy, and Craig Counsell talked about it yesterday, that he just doesn't speed up in those pressure situations. He's been through it all. And just keeping his head, I feel like, is the reason why he's able to work with so much traffic on base. Cubs got to do a better job of making plays, all these infield hits by the Brewers. But Neris saving that ball game, as ugly as it was, so big for the Cubs setting up, obviously a win in the series, and you're tied for first place. That'd be great, right? A guy that I talk about that I'm not always a fan of when you put a glove on this guy, but boy, when he hits, there's days like yesterday where he really shows his value. And of course, I'm talking about what Patrick Wisdom did. He hit one onto the straight. He had the huge RBI hit in the 8th inning that ended up being the game-winning run when they gave up a run in the 9th inning. And I'm hoping that we see more from him in this spot. And something else that Craig Counsell talked about was that those at-bats went to Matt Mvis. Mvis sent down yesterday. Miles Masterboni brought back up. And honestly, I'm really curious as to what the future is going to look like for Mvis. He's done it in AAA. He's gotten opportunities in the big leagues. And so far, it just hasn't happened. Love the guy, what he's been able to do. I don't know why he hasn't been able to have better at-bats in the major leagues. But what was it? Friday, he just looked so lost at the plate. And I think that's why they sent him back. I'm just curious, with everyone being, with all things considered and all these players getting healthy, if there's going to be another opportunity for Matt Mvis. I think that the honest truth is that it might not happen this year. We'll see what the situation tells us as far as injuries and other stuff, but it just did not go well. And, Patrick Wisdom's going to get that opportunity. And, if it doesn't happen for him, it'd probably be somebody else. But Wisdom took advantage of it in the game on Saturday, and the Cubs wouldn't have won without him. Now, how about this guy, Christopher Morel? He has carried the team. And I've always said about Morel that the player he's always reminded me of is Alfonso Soriano. It's all or nothing. But there'd be stretches like this for Sori where he would just absolutely put the team on his back and carry him for 2 weeks. Morel is doing the same exact thing right now for the Cubs. It's been just phenomenal to watch the way that this guy is hitting the ball out of the park. Friday was the only run the Cubs scored. Think about the home runs that he hit in New York. Did it again yesterday. We'll see if he can homer in all 3 games against Milwaukee. But Morel, even at third base, looking a lot more comfortable. And honestly, it's been Dansby Swanson that you're worried about right now. It just seems like he hasn't been able to hit, and his defense hasn't been as sharp either. So, Morel maybe is starting to slide into that third base spot and is taking the next step. I know that the reason why the Cubs have been so patient with him is exactly what he's doing right now, is that he's got game-changing power. And when you hit home runs, it does give you a better opportunity to win. All right, looking ahead, we're going to talk about today's game, but looking ahead, something that is on the radar right now, the number 1 pick in the draft out of LSU last year, national champion pitcher, I'm going to say quarterback, he throws like a quarterback, is Paul Skeens. And they're starting to say that Skeens' major league debut could come in the series against the Cubs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're saying that it could happen there. But Skeens is scheduled to pitch today in the minor leagues. We'll see if that happens. Don't be surprised if he doesn't pitch and we see him, because I think we're at that spot where he's proven that this guy, he throws gas, he's nasty. Why waste that in the minor leagues? And it'd be a lot of fun to face one of the top up-and-coming pitching prospects, Phenom, and the guy that the Pirates took first overall in a game against the Cubs. So we'll see. Just something to look at as we move forward. Now, the Cubs today will take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, the rubber match of this series before the Padres come to town. The Padres, after pulling off a shocking trade and getting a rise to the batting champion to join their roster. Maybe the Cubs need to look at the Marlins right now and see if they got any bullpen pitchers, because it seems like the Marlins are ready to wheel and deal, right? And the Cubs have the prospects to make some trades happen. 120, though, at Wrigley Field today. Javier Assad, who over the last 162 games has one of the best ERAs in baseball, if not the best. 2-0 record, 197 ERA. This guy's got to stay in the rotation. I've said it. I'm going to say it again. He's got to stay in the rotation. I hope they don't put him in the bullpen when some guys return, because he's just been so good. Why not just let him go and do his thing? He's earned it. He belongs there. Freddy, Peralta, Cub killer, maybe. Tough on the Cubs, 3-0 record, 3.21 ERA. He's one of the reasons why the Milwaukee Brewers are in first place, but it's only a game, and the Cubs have a chance to take care of business in today's game and tie the Brewers for first place at first base. All right, Kevin Alcantara. We talked with the Jaguar. The interview will be posted here in the next couple of days. Make sure you check that out. One of the Cubs' top prospects, depending on what publication you look at, but talked about his relationship with Christopher Morel, called him a brother. Morel, everybody loves Morel. Morel's such a great dude. And he's so influential to the young players. He never can sign enough autographs. He can never take enough pictures. The guy has a heart of gold, and he is someone who not only is hitting a bunch of home runs in the big leagues, but he's hitting home runs with the guys in the Cubs system, trying to help them get comfortable and get to the major league. So that interview will be posted very soon as well, right here on the Cubs baseball channel. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Get in the comments section. Let's talk some Cubs baseball. See if the Cubs can pull off a win today. Keeping an eye on what's going to happen with the roster on Monday. With Justin Steele coming back, they're going to have to make some moves. I'm guessing maybe Keegan Thompson probably goes back down after not recording an out yesterday. And then who knows what else. But the bullpen's going to get better because somebody's going to have to go, probably Hayden Wesneski, from the starting rotation into the bullpen. And then, we'll see what happens with Kyle Hendricks after that. But thanks for hanging out. Comment section. Thumbs up means go Cubs, and let's get them today. Let's fly that W one more time. Go Cubs.